Melody and I, and along with our grandson Jacob, were recently in Middletown, Maryland, and we got a chance to have a private tour of both the Bill Moran Workshop and Museum and the W.F. Moran Blacksmith and Artisan Academy. So I put both of them in one video. It's going to make an awfully long video. So I'm using the same introduction for both this video and the other one, and I'll leave cards in the videos and links down below and all that kind of stuff, that if you want to see the other video of our trip, you can have easy access. And I'd like to ask you to please consider subscribing to the channel, especially for this one. If you know anything about bladesmithing, you know the name Bill Moran. He was the premier knife maker, reintroduced Damascus steel process to the United States. Guy was just outstanding. And not many people get the chance to go down to Middletown, Maryland, which is kind of outside Frederick, but might really enjoy seeing and hearing about Bill Moran, the Academy, and the legacy that is now in the Academy, where other people are being taught his techniques. So more people subscribe, post comments, give it thumbs up. The algorithm will share this video with more people, and they'll also get a chance to see what's there. So, okay, on to the video.
So this is Bill's original shop. Pretty much from this post forward, we've kept his shop totally intact in the way it was when he left. We've had to clean up a little bit here and make a little bit more sensible use of the space for having tours and having people in. But yeah, this was his. He did everything in coal. Yeah, he built this shop. Of course, it's it's only cinder block that it's made out of, and no insulation. Potbelly stove was his only heat source besides the forge, and this is a 425-pound anvil. This is actually his second anvil, and he did have two power hammers. This is a 25-pound champion, and this is a 100-pound little giant, just like the one we have up in the other shop. Identical to that. But yeah, basically most of his work he did by hand. I mean, he didn't have heat treating ovens. He didn't have all the fancy. He didn't have a gas forge that he could rely on. Everything he did was in coal, and it just all by hand. And we have his tools, we have his patterns, we have a lot of his different things that he used to make his knives with.
So did he hunt up his own antlers?
Oh yeah. He and before we cleaned this place out, I mean, this whole ceiling was full of horns and antlers and tobacco leaves and everything. I mean, he just he was quite a guy to save materials, and he liked to work with all natural elements. Yeah. And, we have a collection of walking sticks that he made over the years, and he was one that he could go out into the woods, and he'd see a stick and he'd go, "Look at that! I think that looks like a horse head. I think I can make that looks like a bird. I can make something out of that."
Wow.
And he'd just sit down and whittle it and carve it out. Next thing you know, there he's got this cool looking walking stick or walking staff. Yeah, he was quite a guy. He was way ahead of his time for making and understanding, looking at nature and appreciation nature and all that. So, yeah.
A true Renaissance man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. These are a few of the tools. I just wanted to put together a collection of tools off of his bench that just showed some of the things that he worked with. Carving tools and leather strop, chisel, straightening, leather splitter, and some other tongs and stuff. Just something a little different, you know, just to put out there. This was actually a barbecue that he made. I used to be down here all the time, so I was used to all the different noises, but now.
Dude.
Coming up, you can take a look on the walls. There's all kinds of stuff here along the walls. This is a picture that a friend of his did, Eric Conklin, who's a very famous artist. Pictures of Bill and his sister when they were young, awards and plaques up here that he carved. Oh, that's a fire
That's a
detector.
smoke detector,
Smoke
yeah.
detector. I need the battery. So when we talk about him being a Renaissance man, he even made some dulcimers.
Oh my goodness.
And they said he could play them too. Go figure.
Wow.
He made the candelabras, the fireplace set.
Wow. Wow.
Another sculpture. This is the sorcerer's stone with the knife in the stone that you had to pull out. Of course, the knife actually pulls out. He made the little chest right there. The sculptures he did not make, they were given to him. The lacing horse, he made that. And you know, I can see Bill at his vice going, boy, I'm so tired. I need to make something to do my leather work. So what's he do? He just makes a cool lacing horse with storage, tray, you know, everything he needed.
Wow.
To be able to sit there, put his leather in there, clamp it down, and to be able to work on it. Another two sculptures here. And this is an Indian war club that he made, kind of like a shillelagh, improvised shillelagh, but with a spear point on it. Again, other awards. So we know that he was going to make a couple more dulcimers. This is another dulcimer head. And you know, like a lot of guys, I guess of his generation, he had a few libations that he liked his cigar, he liked his Havana Blossom chewing tobacco, and old granddad's. But yeah, he made the whole chest and everything. And then this knife right here, that knife was made out of a meteorite. He only made one of them, and he said it was so hard to forge because meteorites are really dirty iron ore. And because it was so dirty, he said, I'll never do that again. So this is a few of the walking sticks that we have. Wow. The little plaque right there. You're young. Get over there and read that. Read that plaque. Read it for your grandparents.
We want you to feel at home, so you spit on the floor at home. Feel free to spit on the floor here.
Now that was Bill Moran, yeah.
Wow.
Again, another fireplace set. And this was the last. This was a 70 caliber rifle that he shot his last deer with.
Oh, wow.
70 caliber.
Yes.
And you know, a 50 caliber is like bigger than my finger.
70 caliber.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. He probably.
So he made his own shells?
I would say, well, this was a cap and ball, so this was loaded with a rod and everything.
Black powder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this, as far as I know, I've never seen any others. I don't know of any others, but this is the only sword that he made.
Oh, sorry. Wow, I think it's that kind of.
Now, can you imagine riding a horse, pulling that out, and having to wield that thing?
Oh,
That's cute. I got you.
oh wow.
And we found that under his bed.
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with one hand pulling that out.
It's funny. I did the auction for Bill Moran,
Oh.
and when we found this, my boys were just, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. I got pictures of them standing on the front porch of his house, and their knees are buckling, and they're trying to hold this thing up.
Hey, especially like one hand, like you said, on the
Yeah.
horse trying to pull that out. Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's forearm strength.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's the water.
Yeah, he was really ahead of his time on a lot of things.
Silver slipper.
Yeah, so that was given by the ABS, and it was given to his wife, Margaret. She was the first recipient of that award, and yeah, it's kind of a special. Matter of fact, that table over there, that was her typing table. She worked for an insurance company, and that was her typing table.
Oh.
But they often said, and it was quoted many times, that Bill's wife Margaret, she was the reason why Bill Moran was able to be Bill Moran, because she supported him in everything he did. Yeah. Yep.
Did she survive him?
No, she passed before he did, about 4 years before he did. He passed away in 2006, and I think it may have been 2001 she died, maybe 5 years. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Well, you are welcome.
Yes.
Thank you for making the trip down here, and glad that you had a chance to learn a little bit more about Bill Moran.
Yeah.
Very, very smart guy.
Yeah, he was, like I said, he was way ahead on a lot of things, and but he was, he opinionated, very political, and so we respect what he did. We don't dive into, as I tell my board of directors, we're not political here.
Yeah.
I don't care what your affiliation is. When we have board meetings, if you got an opinion about the current state of politics, take it outside.
Yeah.
I'm only interested in knives and keeping the foundation running.
Politics.
Yeah. He has a son?
No, that is me, and that is the executor of the estate, Jay Henderson.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's sort of a shame, no children to pass it
Now,
on.
he and his wife, they got married late in life. He had actually asked her to marry him like about 5 times, and every time she turned him down. So we figured he just eventually wore it out.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
But she was with him. I mean, every show, every time he went out, she was with him right by his side. And so.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a rather fortuitous trip for us. Melody had planned a trip with our grandson Jacob to go down to a battlefield that's in Frederick, Civil War battlefield. And Jacob is really into knives and blades and things like that, so we thought it'd be great if he got to go to this forge where they're supposed to having teaching demonstrations on a particular Sunday. Well, we show up there and the place is closed. But there's a sign on the door that says, if you have any questions, call this number. So I want to give a big shout out to Robert Wilson. He answers the phone, and I explain to him, yeah, we thought you were open today. He says, well, we were having classes, but people canceled, and so we just canceled the classes. And I explained that we were down from Lancaster, Pennsylvania with our grandson, who's really into blade making and stuff and the history. And it's a shame he's going to miss it. And he says, well, we're having an open house in the end of May. Maybe he can come down. I said, well, we're from Arizona, and we won't be able to make it. You know, we're just in for a 2-week trip. And then he says, well, my wife says I can come to work, even though it's my day off. Give me about 15 minutes, I'll be there. So 15, 20 minutes later, Robert shows up, gives us this private tour. So just want to give him a huge shout out and say thank you, because I know Jacob really enjoyed the trip. And as I said at the beginning, there's 2 videos on this. I'll give a link for the second one. And please consider subscribing to the channel, comment, thumbs up, and get these videos seen by more people that might be interested. And as usual, have yourself a pleasant day, and thank you for watching.